teach me. Where is my faith? Well, I need nothing more than a little bit of love.
Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Let's Hear It. Today's guest is Bess Rogers. She's a great artist from Long Island, New York. She's got a couple solo albums, a few EPs as well, and she has a master's degree in musical composition from the University of New York, State University of New York, and she might be the most educated musician we've had on so far. I'm not sure. We'd have to look back. But she's also a great teacher, as you'd expect from someone who has a master's degree. And she has a program called Thinking Outside of the Blocks with Allie Moss. And that's a great songwriters workshop and educational workshop program. And you can sign on for that. We'll show some info about that. And she is also a teacher. She plays many instruments. She plays in Ingrid Michaelson's touring band, which many of you might know about. She also has a new band called The Weird Years with Hannah Winkler and Billy Libby and her husband, who is the star of Let's Hear It episode 32. That's Chris Kuffner. And she had a band called The Secret Someones, which put out one fantastic record, but then sadly lost their record deal, which we all know about. Anybody who's been a musician or a manager or anything, we've all been through that nightmare. But she has an awesome Collings ukulele she's going to show us today. Collings has been a really known for their guitars, and they've been making guitars in Austin, Texas since I think going back to the 70s. And they introduced a line of ukuleles I think about 10, 12 years ago. I'm not sure that they're still making ukuleles, but there's a lot of them out there. So if you're looking for one, you can find one used, and they're really they make really excellent instruments, Collings. So let's say hello to Bess Rogers. Hello, Bess.
Hi, Gary. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It's nice to see you. Are you in Nashville right now?
Yep, I'm in Nashville. Actually, a little bit outside of Nashville on a farm. I went from Brooklyn to a farm with goats and sheep. So it's been a big change.
I think it's good. That's the story of Green Acres as well, the old TV show.
Right. It's about me.
We actually should have thought of that. You could have played the Green Acres theme song, which is one of the great TV theme songs of all time.
It's a good theme song. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah. So how have you been keeping yourself busy? Because I know that you teach and I know that you record. So and you're a mom.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
Well, luckily I am very busy, and I'm really lucky that I sort of had shifted a lot of my work to be virtual before this pandemic, because after we moved from Brooklyn, I really wanted to find a way to be making music without all the touring and being away from home, being a mom. That was really important to me, to find a way to balance that. So I had already been teaching remotely and working a lot on Thinking Outside the Blocks with Allie, and I had been producing and writing music for licensing. I work with a couple different companies for that, and we have our home studio here. So the thing that was new once the pandemic started was I started working with some other artists, producing them virtually, which was the first time that I've tried to do that. And it's actually co-writing and producing, I think, virtually is a lot easier than I thought it would be. And it's, in a way, kind of nice going forward. I think, obviously, it's ideal to be in the room with somebody, but it's nice to know that you can do it and you can work with people that you want to work with, despite not being in the same place.
Yeah, I think we've all had to figure out how to do this kind of stuff, and it's actually not that hard. And I think when we hopefully get back to touring and somewhat of a normal life, I still think this is going to wind up being a big element of it. Like what you're doing with workshops and, being able to produce a track for somebody when they're halfway across the country.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to really open up who you can collaborate with and who you can work with. And hopefully we'll end up with a healthy balance of being in the room with each other with vibrations happening in real life, and then keep some of this good stuff that we've been forced to adapt to.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about thinking outside the blocks, and how did you start that, and how do you work with students and aspiring songwriters to teach them musical composition?
Yeah, well, I started it with my friend Allie Moss, and we had been co-writing a lot together because she had gone through a really long period of like pretty bad writer's block, where she was dealing with a lot of personal things, and she just felt super, super blocked. And we started collaborating, and through our collaborations together and our talks about creativity and the creative process, she overcame her writer's block, and we both kind of developed, I guess, a philosophy and a more kind of concrete understanding of how to get past blocks. And I've experienced that too, not as drastic as that, but we sort of developed this outlook on creativity through that. And so we put together a lecture. That's how it started. And we did one lecture, and then we did another, and then we opened it up to a 4-week workshop where we give songwriting assignments every week, and people come and write 4 songs in 4 weeks. And then it just kind of has grown and grown. And now we have like a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, where we give people monthly challenges and kind of inspiration. And we do virtual open mics. We have several different workshops. We have a 2-hour challenge that we do once a month, where we give people a songwriting assignment and they have 2 hours to write. And a lot of what we do is really just, some of what we do is talking about the technical aspects of composition and harmony and music theory and guitar, voice lessons. But the big thing that we focus on is really just how to live a healthy creative life, and how to get unstuck and always be approaching your art and your creativity from a place of growth and joy, really. And how a lot of the blocks that artists come up against are really just mental. And that sometimes you just need to take the pressure off by allowing it to not be good, and just allow yourself to enjoy the process, and know that you have to do it regularly, just like any other, just like playing an instrument or being an athlete, in order to build up your skill level of it. And I think a lot of people think that songwriting and art is just this magic thing. You're supposed to be able to do it. And we really try and dispel that myth, and just get people writing. So that's what we're about.
Oh, it's great. It's good for you and Allie as well to be giving back, and I know that makes you feel good. Anytime I have the ability, I'm certainly not a teacher, but occasionally I get to show somebody, hey, check, you could learn how to do this. This is really easy, and it feels really good to show somebody something on an instrument.
Totally, and it keeps us writing too. So
it's great.
Yeah.
Tell me about this Collings ukulele. When did you get it?
I think I got this in 2009. Yeah. I was trying to remember today. I can't quite remember. I know I was on tour with Chris and with Jenny Owen Youngs, and we were in Austin. And I had already a Collings OM2H that I love. And so we arranged a tour of the factory while we were there. And got to try out a bunch of instruments, and I actually got to pick this ukulele out as it was, I think it was like, had just been not finished, but they had just done the finishing on it. And so it was really cool to get to see the process and see the station where like Bill Collings like picks all the pieces of wood for all the instruments. Or I don't know if it was Bill, but I remember they said it's been the same person for like since the 60s. So just like so cool. And I guess why they have such part of the reason why they have so much consistency and quality in their instruments.
Yeah, anytime I've never owned a Collings instrument, but anytime I've picked one up, I'm always impressed by how well made and beautifully made they are, kind of flawless looking instruments. And have you noticed any? So you've had that thing for 10 years or so. Have you noticed the sound on it change a little bit, or is it still kind of feel the same to you?
No, I don't know. I don't think I've really noticed anything, to be honest, but it's sort of been, I think, fairly consistent. It might be like a little warmer now than when I first got it, but it's always been pretty warm. Really, it's just, I don't know, this ukulele sounds like golden to me. It's just very rich. I love it.
And one of the challenges with ukuleles sometimes is the tuning. Is that you find that it stays in tune pretty well?
That is the thing about this. It stays in tune so well. Like, it's. I feel like it's like stays in tune as well as my Collings guitar does. It's just, and which I have had a number of, lesser quality ukes, and that is usually the issue. So that's really nice with this one.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Do you play that on stage, like when you tour with Ingrid Michaelson? Do you use the uke, or you're really on guitar?
No, I was mostly I mostly played electric guitar with her, and then because she plays uke.
Yeah.
So she's the uke player in that band, but I toured with this for my solo stuff. I mostly play guitar, but I think I have like 3 or 4 songs that I play on uke. And I've adapted a couple to be on the uke, but so it's not really like my main instrument, but I did tour with it for many years.
Well, feel free to play us a song or give us a couple examples of what it sounds like.
Yeah. I'd love to play a little song.
Okay.
This is called Standing Tall, and I think I wrote this like pretty shortly after getting this ukulele. So, here it goes.
All right.
I'm standing tall in the rain and the snow. Got a little bit of love. So bring on the storm, let the winds blow. A little bit of love, oh, keep me alive. When I fall down to my knees, when I fall down to the floor, when I fall down to my knees, you catch me. Where is my faith? Well, I need nothing more than a little bit of love. Oh, to give me a reason why. My heart, it is strong, so let the winds blow. A little bit of love, oh, keep me alive. When I fall down to my knees, when I fall down to the floor, when I fall down to my knees, you catch me. Ooh, ooh. you catch me. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And that is that thing really stays nicely in tune, because you're up the neck a little bit where the challenges usually come in sometimes, and that sounds beautiful.
The intonation on this thing is really solid.
They got the bridge in the right spot.
Yeah, they did good.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song. Is that a new song?
No, that's from my album that I put out, my last full-length album that I put out in 2011. And that was, I think I had written those chords and that like kind of this like 5/4 thing. This is the only song I have in 5/4. Just from like the magic of this instrument just sitting around and playing with it. I had those chords for a long time, and then eventually put words to it, and it's the first track on my record. So yeah,
it's a very, very nice melody.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And just music theory is something that I know nothing about. I can play a few things, I know a few little tricks, but when you're teaching a young musician about music theory, what is the focus there, and how do you try to get them to understand and how to utilize the knowledge in their songwriting?
Yeah, well, I actually teach a course called Music Theory for Songwriters, because when I started writing songs and taking guitar lessons, I wasn't taught any theory all through up until I got to college and started studying music. And so I feel like that's, I think, something that should be more fundamental for musicians, no matter what instrument you're playing, but especially people who are learning to write songs and playing guitar. But I start by teaching, like what are all the intervals and what is a scale, and how to know what the notes are in a scale and in a key, and then how to use that knowledge to form chords and figure out the diatonic chords in a key, so you can have a starting point of knowing what chords to use and how to make your melodies work over those chords, and then we sort of move on to other chords outside of the key and adding more color to your chords. And once we kind of get the fundamentals of that, then I love to take songs that they love, or even their own songs, and analyze them and break them down in terms of the key and the chord progression, and and then give assignments based on that. So if you're studying a song that modulates to the up a whole step or something, then your assignment is to write a song that modulates a whole step. And so I find that using the songs you love as examples of things you can do and trying to put that into your own music is just a really great way to learn. So that's kind of my approach to it.
Yeah, I was at Lark Street Music in Teaneck, New Jersey, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And there was a guy, a cranky old dude there playing some guitar, and he was excellent. And I don't know, I somehow got to talking to him, and he quickly discovered that I had no music theory knowledge, and he got very angry. And he was like, it's like, you're like, this is like somebody who knows some words but doesn't know the whole language. How do you not want to know the whole language? And
it's like
I thought about that a lot. I guess that's a good way of describing music theory.
Well, I think it's like you speak the language, you just maybe don't know how to spell very well. Or know how to maybe know how to write it, or know all the grammar and stuff. But I find that, you have great ears and you know all of that by ear. You just have to, and so actually a lot of great musicians, like some of the best musicians I know, don't know any theory, and I would consider them better musicians than me. So I think you know it, you just know it by ear. You just don't know it by name, but you probably, your instincts are probably going to it. But it's I don't know, I think it's more of I find it really helpful for problem solving, like when I'm writing a song and I feel like this has happened to me a lot, where I go to some weird chord progression and then I've sort of written myself into a new key center and then I don't really know how to get back to it because I like a lot of weird chords. And so it's helpful, like in those moments, to kind of problem solve. It's helpful all around, but.
Well, great. Well, thanks for coming on. You sounded great. I love seeing that ukulele. I think this is actually our first ukulele episode.
Wow. I'm honored.
Number 1.
Yay. We are number 1.
All right,
so
Bess.
sorry.
Well, enjoy the farm. Enjoy taking care of your beautiful little boy and your beautiful husband as well.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
All right.
Hope to
Take
see you
care,
soon.
Gary. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
So that was Bess Rogers. Love hearing that ukulele, tenor ukulele. So it's a little bit bigger. If you, there are numerous sizes of ukuleles. So there's the smallest one, which is probably the one that everybody sees, is a soprano uke, and then there's a mid-size one called a concert size. Tenor is a bigger one than the concert size, and then there's a baritone uke. So 4 different types of ukuleles. Maybe there's other ones. There might be other ones. There's resonator ukes. There's banjo ukes. A whole world of ukuleles. Thanks for watching. Check back in a couple of days for the next episode of Let's Hear It. See ya.